Okay, welcome everybody to the Arc Logos podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Anita Pinto Young, and with me today, our co-host.
Rose Tiberry
and Sherelle Wilson Morrison.
Yes, and today we have a special guest. People, we have the one and only Andrew Christopher Young, who's also my other half. Sherelle got upset the other day when I called him my boyfriend, so I won't call him my boyfriend.
It's okay,
today.
you can call him whatever you like.
Yeah.
Well, I'll ask Andrew to introduce himself and tell us who he is and what he does.
Yeah, well, two halves make a whole, you know? Yeah, I understand. So, I'm Andrew Christopher Young. I'm a musician, composer, arranger, I'm a band leader, I'm an improviser, and a session musician, etc.
Etc.
Wow.
And I'm a keyboardist, organist, pianist.
Thank
as
you,
well.
Andrew. Thank you. And this is why I asked him to introduce himself, because I couldn't quite remember all of the things. And there were times he was writing it down, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm getting this wrong. So Andrew did a brilliant job of that. So today, Andrew, we're going to talk about your journey into music. So talk to us a little bit about how did it start, Mr. Young?
All right. My grandmother introduced me to music. Well, both my grandmother and mother, they introduced me to music. And I remember my mother used to say to me, she wanted me to link up with a lady called Mrs. McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing that lady was also a music teacher at Morrison Preparatory School.
Wow.
Yeah, so it happened that start learning the recorder. And for some reason, in grade 2, I was probably way ahead of the students in terms of my ears.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not even knowing that I could hear and play stuff.
Okay.
So I remember everything that they play on the paper, I'll just play it back.
You would listen and play it back
And
without
play it
reading the
back.
notes. Yeah.
And then it caused some resentment with some of the students, because they're saying, man, he doesn't know his notes. But that never used to bother me, you understand me. But I probably discovered that I could play by ear.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember also, my mother used to sent me a Walkman. And so I grew up listening to Michael Jackson. You understand? So I got the first album called Bad. And I used to listen to Bobby Brown as well.
Yeah.
So in the house, music was something that was booming. Understand me? So I grew up listening to music on Saturday morning. Not Saturday morning, in the evening.
Yeah.
You understand me? And different types of music. Listen to Janet Jackson music, Michael Jackson music. Listen to reggae music.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? And, my mom, she used to sing.
Yeah.
And she used to sing with the Caribbean folk singers. She used to travel. She went to one of our first countries, Costa Rica.
Wow.
You understand me? And also, she did a event at the St. Andrew Parish Church. Understand me? So, as a kid, I used to go and watch her.
Wow.
Plus, my mother, she used to model for Pulse.
Yeah.
She was a model as well, and she used to work at the bank. That bank was called Mutual Security Bank back then in New Kingston.
Jamaica, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, but she always wanted to do music, and she had a program on the radio called Disco Jam.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, and my mom used to be on TV as well, so she used to do something similar to what you guys are doing now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And but she was very intelligent. She went to Immaculate. She was very bright.
Yeah.
Understand. But eventually, things never work according to plan for her in terms of music. My grandmother was also an organ player back then, which I didn't even know, but she told me that eventually.
Yeah.
And I have a grand uncle who used to play the violin.
Wow.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
grew up in a
Musical
family of musicians.
yeah, man.
So you got the
But
gift.
yeah, so I remember now my first recital when I started playing the recorder for carol service. There comes the attack of asthma.
Wow.
Asthma came that Sunday, visited me.
Mm.
And then my grandmother was like, feeling okay? I said, yes. She asked me if you
Although
sure
you
what?
weren't feeling well.
Yes.
Okay.
I was unwell and I still went to the event and performed.
Yeah.
Wow.
The performing was that
resilience.
important to you.
Yeah, for me, I just said, you know what? No matter what hits me, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You understand me? And I just blow my heart out.
Oh dear.
And after the choral service, I went straight to Bustamante Children's Hospital,
Yeah. So from the performance to the hospital. Yeah.
to the hospital. And the doctor says, all right, this is my recommendation to you. Don't blow any more woodwind instruments. Learn something like the guitar or the keyboard
Yeah.
or the drums, you know.
Because of the asthma.
Yeah, so I think years after, our pastor said he would start up a youth orchestra,
Yeah.
you know, and I was a part of the youth orchestra. It was run by a soldier from the Jamaica JDF, Major Joe Williams.
Yeah.
You understand? And I had a like for the drums. 'Cause I actually wanted to be a drummer,
Yeah.
Okay.
you know, and me and my grandmother used to fight and, you know, argue. I said, no, grandma, I want to play the drums. I want to play the drums, you know. And she said, no, learn the keyboards because this is what's going to happen. When you learn the keyboards, you know, you get more out of it in terms of income,
Yeah.
you know, more opportunities more than just the drums, you know. And I never felt happy about it, but I see where it actually helped,
Paid off
Yeah.
in the end.
you know. And so I started the keyboards. And
But why did you like the drums, Andrew?
the thing is, it was very rhythmic.
Mm.
It was very rhythmic in terms of, you know, listening to the beat of the drum. You understand me? So for me, that was something that was inside of me, to play the drums, you know. But she said, okay, learn keyboards.
Yeah.
And I've learned it. And, you know, I remember doing theory. I used to hate theory. And I remember a teacher was like, you know, I'm going to have it very hard with you because you don't even know theory. And I proved him wrong. I said, all right, since you say you're going to have it hard with me, I went to another music teacher. That was my grandmother's cousin, Mrs. Hay.
Yeah.
So Miss Hay, you know, said, all right, I know Major Joe Williams, but you can't go to two music teachers at once. You have to decide.
Yeah.
I still go to her and I still go to him.
You still went to both.
Yeah, you understand me? So, you know what? She taught me the theory.
Mrs. Hay.
Yeah, Miss Hay taught me the theory. So when I look back on it now, remember the Saturday, the man can always pick on me, you know.
Major Joe.
So when he pick on me now, I just give him all of the answers because I studied.
Yeah.
And he said, man, look like I forgot to send you up to grade 1. You understand me? So, yeah, but from that day, I knew that there was something special for me in music,
Yeah.
you know, and learned a lot in the orchestra,
Yeah.
you know, but God just gave me that gift
Yeah.
in terms of my ears.
So is that why you didn't really like theory? Because you had an ear for it? So you could pick up everything. So in a way, so whereas the other kids probably had to study the notes and play from the notes, for you, because you could hear it.
I could
I mean,
hear
is
it.
it that you didn't like the theory or you kind of didn't really think you needed it because you could hear it anyway.
It's not that I didn't need it to know, because I believe it was important, you know. And at some point in time, I had to do it. You understand? So with Mrs. Hay, I start doing the theory. I start doing the grades up to grade 1 to 2, you know, up to grade 3. I think I did up to grade 4 theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Is that ABRSM?
ABRSM, exactly. So what happened was, even with classical, I just skip grade 1 classical, ABRSM, and go to grade 2.
Wow. Skipping grade 1.
Yeah.
What's ABRS? May I ask?
Associated Board Royal School of Music.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, you know, you have the Royal School of Music Academy, so they do those grades at those places.
Yeah.
You know, and what happened was, when I was in her class, you know, I learned the classical to a degree, you know, meanwhile I was going to high school, understand, and what happened was, you know, when it was exam time, I mean, oral test, that was a challenging one, you know, so I wasn't so great on the oral exams, it's like a mock exam, you know, you just do those prep.
Is that music, the oral exam?
Yeah, the oral test.
Okay.
But in the exam, I got merit. I got the highest out of everybody.
Wow.
Yeah.
You understand me? Out of everybody that comes to our house, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, the second time I got the highest again.
Wow.
You know, I think the third time or so, you know, somebody else beat me to it, which is fine, because I didn't have a problem, because I wasn't a competitive person.
Yeah.
But I knew that God has given me a gift musically, and eventually, you know, I remember there was a time I was in Colgate Captive Fighters Club, you know, where my mom bought me the first keyboard, you know, and I start learning by one hand. So I go and hear, it was the Colgate Captive Fighters Club was hosted by Neville Willoughby and Pat Gooden. She's from Scotland.
Yeah.
And I didn't come there as a keyboard player yet, but I came as a singer. So I used to sing on the ear. You know.
You're going to sing first today?
No. Sorry to disappoint you about
Can I
that
just get
one.
clarity? What's the Colgate Cavities Club? Just for my reference
It's a program for health-wise when it comes to your teeth.
point. Okay. Oh, Colgate.
Yeah, man.
A radio program.
Yeah, it was a radio program hosted by Neville Willoughby and Pat Gooden.
Yes.
You know, and my first thing I did, it wasn't singing. Actually, it was doing a poem.
Ooh.
You
Do you remember the poem?
No, I don't think I remember that one. That was years ago.
Yeah.
And then eventually I started singing on ear, and, you know, during prep school.
What kind of songs? Was it Colgate songs? Was it
No, man, you
songs
could
about
you
cavity?
No, you could do anything, man.
Okay.
Yeah, you could sing about anything. So it was actually for the inner city kids in the area. You know, so a lot of inner city kids came and support the thing. You know, so I started singing on the ear. I started going to hospitals. So we had a choir.
Wow.
So Pat Gooden was in charge of the choir.
Yeah.
And we used to go to Coney Park and even sing as well.
Yeah.
You sung on the choir, Andrew.
Yeah, man.
And you still don't want to give
No.
a little insight to that.
No.
It's worth a second try to
I know.
ask.
Yeah, still no.
Do you remember some of the songs?
It was just Christmas carols, you know.
Okay.
Christmas carols.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there was a time we went to festivals as well. We went to festival, and, you know, we got prizes as well, you know.
Wow.
And back then we used to wear like red bow tie, red copper band, and, you know, I went back to the same hospital where I used to be sick, Bustamante, and sing there.
And perform for the
Oh,
kids.
that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
I went to National Chest Hospital where I actually used to go, you know.
For the
and,
asthma as well.
and the University Hospital where they have the less fortunate there, you know.
So you were touring at, how old were you at that time?
I think I was about, maybe I had 11 years old.
Wow.
Wow,
Doing your
that was
little
young,
national
yeah.
tours,
Yeah.
going to hospitals to perform, eh?
Yeah, so, you know, so those were great moments, you know. And then eventually I went into keyboard, start playing when I was at Constant Spring now, you know. And then it happened that a teacher came in the next Monday morning and said, "Who is Andrew Young?" And I said, "I'm Andrew Young." And she said, "I've heard you on the radio."
Yeah.
So I
Oh.
became very popular in
In
junior
school.
school, junior high school, you know. So it happened that I started playing in devotions and, you know, people started to know me in the area, in Cassava Peace. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't do too well in prep school in terms of common entrance,
Yeah.
Okay.
but I went to Constant Spring Junior High,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you understand me? And that's where God started to shine the light, you know, so been an example to a lot of kids there, you know. So all of the teachers, including the principal, Mr. Scott, they had a lot of massive respect for me
Wow.
Yeah.
As a musician.
as a
A
musician.
little star.
You know,
Yeah.
from that time, and then I played at my own graduation.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and then when it came to awards, no, I mean, I never even got to school for awards, to be honest with you. I didn't even care about that. I just said, when it comes to graduation, I said, listen, let me just get my certificate and go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is my focus. But when I heard my name called for awards for deportment, everybody was starting to reel up. I said, yeah, because I was shocked myself, you know.
Yeah.
And then
And
now,
deportment is how you carry yourself as
Yeah.
dressing nice, coming to
Yeah.
school clean.
Wow.
it's not just the dressing part, you know, it's just about your character and integrity
Yeah.
in terms of, as you say, you know, you carry yourself a certain way,
Disciplined, yeah.
Yeah.
you know. And then I remember the final award now was a big trophy. They said for the most outstanding student of the year. And a friend beside me was saying to me, I think it's you going to get it. I said,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And then when I actually heard my name called, that was like the whole place mash up, you know. The whole place was on
Nice.
fire, you know.
Lovely.
So, and I got that over the head girl and the prefect.
Wow.
And funny enough, I was selected as prefect one of the times, you know. But I said the reason why I didn't take it because of the area. But you take the inform on the students, you don't know, you can get yourself in problems. You understand?
Get beat up.
You get beat up. So I'm saying, you know what, it's better not take it. But eventually, you know, from Constant Spring to Dunoon Technical, yeah. In 10th grade now, I was working with a group called Quest.
Wow.
You know, I'm a singing group, you know, and they start to know me there. So I don't know, I wasn't so keen into academics that much. So it was just music.
Yeah.
But that was where, you know, I was still going to Miss here, same way, you know, and, you know, still doing the grades and the theory,
Yeah.
you know, but went to JCDC festival and we got awards again. So,
For people who don't know, Andrew, what's JCDC again? It's Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, I think.
something like that, I believe. Yeah. I'm not even sure, to be honest with you.
I think it's a national competition.
It's a
for
national competition for
people in schools and stuff to compete musically. Yeah. And in entertainment and arts.
Yeah, and it's for everyone, you know. I mean, JCDC, you know,
They have a gospel festival.
they have gospel
segment as
festival
well.
and the secular festival, you know. And, you know, but the first time we went through eliminations with Quest, I mean, we never had the resources like other high schools,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. And that program was run by a lady called Miss Bridget Pancho.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her maiden name is Bridget De Souza, you know.
Yeah.
And she saw the potential and she put us together.
Yeah.
And we used to rehearse at school. you know, and prepare for the festivals. And I remember the first time when we did the festival, I think we came second. We came second, yeah.
Over.
And for those festivals, were you singing and playing
No, I
the
was
keyboard
playing.
or
I
just
was
the
playing
right.
that time. No,
Yeah.
you know, that's
Okay.
people taking time to know me.
Yeah.
But people in the group were singing,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
played
yeah,
for them.
yeah, definitely.
Mm.
So in 11th grade, I did festival again, but I didn't think we won this time. We didn't get anything this time. But for graduation, I got the trophy. I got the silver trophy for graduation.
Wow.
You know, and then I left high school after 11th grade. Work with the evangelist Sandra Brooks.
Wow.
Yeah. And even before I left high school, I joined a competition called TST Talent Contest. Yes,
Say
we're
tasty.
Yeah,
Is that to do with the
tasty.
patty?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh, okay. I thought so. I was like, I know
man.
that one.
Yeah, man. I
Okay.
entered that competition,
Yeah.
and funny enough, it was Miss Pancho that encouraged me
Yeah.
to enter. Then
Yeah.
Yeah.
you understand, and I entered, and I didn't win, but I got best dress.
Wow.
I got best dress on a dozen of those parties.
I was going to ask. That was going to be my question.
yeah, man. Yeah. And I got also $7,000.
Ooh.
Wow.
And you got something.
Yeah, I got something, and you know, T-shirt. You know, but the $7,000 I just put towards the school fee at that time.
Yeah.
So I just invest in school. Well, when after I left school, now I worked with Sandra Brooks for 3 months, and you know, I used to play for weddings, funerals. You know, even in high school, I was playing the pipe organ. Yeah, man, I used to play that big thing. You know, it was a Rogers electrical pipe organ.
Yeah.
You know, but even at the church, you know, I used to. That's where I discovered, you know, that I had a sound of jazz. You know, and also just go on the piano and just start fooling around, and I find myself eventually start playing like a concert pianist. You know, and sometimes in church, as they used to say, "Boy, Andrew, jazz up the service."
And that's the Catholic Church,
Yeah, that's
which
the
is a lot
Yeah, that's the Catholic
more
Church. But
sedated, isn't it?
after I left, like I said, after I left Covenant, you know, Moravian Church, you know, they killed the organ. They had an organ player. They killed. They shot him 8 times.
Yeah.
One of them shoot him. And a friend of mine says, "All right, they need a musician." And my grandmother's a bit worried because they might do the same thing to me. But God had a purpose, and I went start off as a piano player,
Yeah.
and eventually I moved up to being an organ player in my teens.
Yeah.
You understand? Start playing services. You know, they have like cantor. You know, they do like a solo in church. They have cantors do that segment.
Yeah.
But I had this thing about me where I'll just break the rules, man.
And do your
Rebel.
own.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
play
man.
jazz
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
the
it wasn't just jazz alone, to be honest with you. So there are times where even orchestra music, nobody didn't teach me how to play that, man. I just played. I just listened and played.
What was the requirement? So you were in a Catholic church, playing for things like the masses and services. Did they expect you to play classical music?
Okay, it was a charismatic church. So they did a lot of Caribbean music as well. So it wasn't dead, you know. But I just come there and I said, you know what? I'm going to make a difference here.
Yeah.
And that's where people get to recognize me. You know, but I used to go to the church and practice on their piano and, you know, start play things.
But some people were upset that you were changing up the sound a little bit.
Yeah. But for me, I couldn't be the other guy that wasn't no longer around or be somebody else. You
Yeah.
understand me? But I learned something in life where, for me, is that be yourself. And don't allow people to manipulate or define you or try to tell you a lot of crap. You understand me?
Yeah.
So for me, I learned at an early age that I had something and I'm not going to change to please people.
Yeah.
So I was never a people's pleaser. I was always somebody that I knew this was the direction God will take me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I learned from early that no matter what they said about what I do, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Understand me? And that's just my
Yeah.
Yeah.
way of doing things. But I took the music to another level, you know, and people started to warm up to it. And, you know, you still find the naysayers, but who cares about the naysayers? You know, and I used to go out of town with them as well.
Yeah.
I remember one time I played at St. Richard's School. It was a Saturday class. My friend invited me to come. And I remember after I played, one of the children said, "Can I have your autograph?" Everybody get out of their seats, ready for me to sign.
Yeah.
Lovely.
It wasn't just me, but my friend. Both of
Yeah.
us did a recital. And we did a recital at St. Richard's Church. It was a concert.
Yeah.
So that was where things started. And we played for a group called Bass.
Yeah.
So my name was in the center. So his sister played saxophone and he played trumpet. So his sister's name was Vanessa and his name was Sean.
So Vanessa, Andrew,
Andrew and Sean.
All right.
And
So tell us a bit more about some of the acts that you worked with in Jamaica, because a lot of that is your Jamaican experience, and then about the transition to the UK. So who are some of the other major acts that you worked with in Jamaica, or some of the things that you
some of
did?
the acts that I've worked with Twice. You understand? I've worked with Benji Myers. You know, I've worked in hotels. Understand? But I studied with Margie Wiley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did some studies with her, and she also gave me an opportunity to play at a concert. So I did a solo piece. You know, but after that, I've worked with a group called Earplay, which was organized by Donald Waugh. He's a wicked bass player, and he's an all-rounded musician.
Yeah.
You know, and Airplay was going to be a jazz band. As you know, I have another good friend in Jamaica. He's now in Canada. Dwayne Livingston was a part of the band for a while.
Yeah.
We were going to be a jazz band, but it wasn't going to cut it. So we did various types of music. So we used to play at Red Bones, Blues Cafe. You understand me? And what happened was, you know, after Airplay, I got recognized by Benji Myers. And he said, "You got it, man. You have it, you know." I mean, they never probably understood when he said that, but, you know, I started studying with him. Did 3 years of studying with him and also going on the road with him. So I went to Jazz in the Gardens with Benji Myers, Jazz on the Green. And I have worked with the All-Star Band. You know, I came on TV with Twice and other artists on TVJ. You know, and Morning Time with Airplay and also with Benji a couple times as well. You know, and after that, grandmother passed off in 2008. That's when I got saved. God has said, "Listen, there's certain people in the industry you can't fit in with. You can't fit in with certain people in the industry." And I remember Pastor said to me that the direction that you think you want to go, that's not the direction that God has for you. So even when I got saved, I still was playing for Benji Myers, and I went to Anguilla, and I went into the All-Star Band. That was some great musicians from Jamaica. Ruption from Third World, Cat Core, that is the son of David Core. You know, his father, no, his father is David Core, you know. His father is David Core.
Yeah.
And, you know, another great jazz musician in New York, he's no longer on the earth now. I'm Honor J. Alangums.
Okay.
You know, he was a great musician. So I got the privilege to work with him and another guy called Corey Stute. So we're on stage doing our stuff.
Right.
You know, I've worked with Carlene Davis,
Yeah, wow.
evangelist. Yeah, I've worked with Carlene Davis and John Williams. You know, so I've done my fair share. I've been at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. So I've been at Pegasus, you know, and doing major events. I've done solo stuff at the Lions Club.
You appear to have done quite a lot
In
in
Jamaica.
Jamaica. I was wondering, were they your own compositions or did you work
No, man,
with?
it was just working with other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even when, but there was a part of me just that says, listen, you know what? I think I want to go further.
Yeah.
I knew that God has called me internationally. That is why when I was at St. Richard's, I remember they announced that I'll be providing live entertainment and they called my name. It was a big ovation, you know. You understand? And I've worked with Sound of Joy, with Joy Brown, you know, and, you know, different people, you know. And then eventually, like I said, after my grandmother passed off, you know, I said, God, you know what? I think it's time for me to leave Jamaica because I didn't have much purpose anymore. But I was quite wrong there because I got a chance to work with Birthright. It's a gospel group, it's a reggae gospel group. And then and stayed at a church with this pastor, Stephen Samuels. And eventually I got married. You understand? And then God was just saying, you're going to leave Jamaica, you know, and then eventually, you know, come to the UK. But, you know, thinking coming that I was expecting too much in terms of wanting everything to happen the same time. But I started off in Praise Baptist Church and from there, King's International, you know, because I said, you know what, probably that's the first step to start off in the church.
In the church, yeah.
And then move to Crawley. And from there now, I met a drummer called Stanley Ohios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was also music director for a group called Case Ministries.
Yeah.
You know, didn't work out according to plan, but God established me as a music director.
Yeah.
You know, when it come to being a leader, you know, and not knowing where it would have taken me at that level, you know.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, eventually, I was working with Kunle Ayo. He's a Nigerian guitarist. He lives in South Africa.
Yeah.
And as I remember when I got saved, I was just saying to myself, maybe after I got saved, probably just leave certain things out there. Not knowing God saying, no, I'm going to have to go back out there and be a light
Yeah.
Yeah.
into those places. Send me back to certain places,
Yeah.
which I used to be, you know. So I work with Kunle, you know, and Ben Audu. At some point I've worked with the Winston Orchestra. It was the big band, you know. I've worked with Myrna here and Kaya Brown and another established musician here called Tony Kofi. He's a jazz saxophonist. He has worked with some of the greats in the world, you know, as an organ player. But I'm going to go to the immigration part of it after a while now. Immigration just stopped me in my tracks, man,
Yeah.
Dear.
and said to me, can't work.
Oh dear.
But God said I will work, and I still work. And that was when, no, years after, you know, the Lord said to me, start putting your band together, start doing an album. But I've got that revelation from Jamaica. People asking me, "We're going to do your, where's your album?"
Yeah.
And because they say, you're so good, you should put out an album.
Yeah.
Eventually, no, you know, I used to go to the Greyhound Lounge. That was across from the University of Middlesex.
Yeah.
And I went there and I used to go to their jam sessions,
Yeah.
And guy said to me, since you're always coming, why don't you put your own band together?
Yeah.
Hey.
Why don't you just do your own thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I started putting my band together before that. And I think the plan for me was maybe, okay, be a keyboard player and have a bass player and a drummer.
Yeah.
Not knowing that the Lord says, no, you're going to be established as an organ player. It's not that he said stop playing piano or keyboards, but for that season, established me as an organ player. And the first person I linked up with was a friend of mine called Tommy Raman. And he says, okay, Andrew, I have a drummer, Charlie Hutchinson. And we started rehearsing for days, weeks.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't even go to church on Sunday. I go up to Middlesex and rehearse
Yeah.
because I want to get the band tight.
Yeah.
And then we did our first gig at the Greyhound and then went to Bar 48.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I did the Indulgence show. That time, immigration said, don't work.
Yeah.
And God said to me, I'm going to still establish it, even if
Yeah.
you don't, even if them said you don't work. And I went to the show and we were one of the best acts. That was God. And even when they said don't work, my musicians stick with me through thick and thin. Say we're going to come and rehearse with the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we back up, Andrew, what were the challenges around immigration? Why weren't you able to work? What happened?
It's people, you know what? It's paperwork thing, indefinite leave. I think at that time, take like their tests and
Life in the UK
feel it
test.
no fun. It just happened that you're so frustrated with the system. But you know something, immigration allowed me to find Christ. Immigration allowed me to fast and pray. That is why I know I could even be so effective in my fasting and prayer now.
Yeah.
You understand? But I had to find God. And even though I never allowed that to stop me, because God says, no matter what, still do what you're called to do.
Yeah.
So I still go to jam sessions and I still do my work. But I had to take action in my hands in terms of praying. Yeah, I march to even the home office and just pray.
Okay.
Pray and mash up certain things. That is when I understand spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
You got me. And for me, eventually, the guys were frustrated, so the band has to just be dissolved for a while.
Oh dear.
And the court case, I've lost the court case.
Around your immigration.
But I wasn't sad or anything. I think I was just, there was a peace. Because the Lord said to me, go back to Jamaica.
Yeah.
Because I have a greater purpose.
Yeah.
In terms of, where I want to take you. And God took me back to Jamaica. I play with the same musicians that I used to know back then. Yeah.
And
Can I just? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
how long were you when you went back to Jamaica? How long were you?
It was 3 months, called 3.5 months.
Okay.
So what happened was I went to Turnover Hotel and there's a friend of mine who knew I was coming. His name is Andre Campbell. He's one of the top jazz musicians in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And he reminds me so much of one of the legends, Oscar Peterson. And he said to me, I'm going to come and hear you play. Because he didn't even know me in person like that.
Oh.
But I correspond with him on
He'd seen
Facebook,
you online. Yeah.
you know, and we spoke one time on the phone and he said, man, you're up there with some of the masters in the world with Chicory and Herbie Hancock, and you're a legend and people need to know about you.
Yeah.
He left his work just to come and hear me play.
When you were in Jamaica.
And then, funny enough, I went to the Ocherous Jazz Festival. They had like the Ocherous Jazz Festival launch in Ocherous. Not Ocherous, on Hope Road.
Oh.
And I didn't go there to play, to be honest with you. I just went there because, you know what, to just have fun and just enjoy myself and just sit down and observe.
Yeah.
And I met up with some musicians and, you know, I saw Marge Wiley. And then I remember they were just issuing out the paper who to perform. And then when I look, I saw my name on the paper. I said, play. I didn't come here to play. And not knowing that I was going to play solo piano as a solo pianist. And because some musicians saw me as, okay, I used to be a backing musician, and that's what they knew me as. It's like what they do Jesus, you know. You know, they just see him as a carpenter's son.
Yeah.
How did you feel like once you saw your name on that paper, knowing?
Honestly, it was an overwhelming thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I learned was, I said, okay, I will just do what I have to do. Since my name is on it, I couldn't say I don't want to play. Because I believe God orchestrated that.
Yeah.
And it happened that they called me up to play because the other musician played before me. His name is Lloyd Denton, and everybody was reeling up for him. And I was just sitting down, just watching and observing. And they said, we have to play for about 5 minutes. And I executed that jazz piece in 5 minutes.
Wow.
In 5 minutes, like that. And people were like, whoa, you know, it was one of the best performances I've ever heard at the jazz festival. It wasn't even proper jazz because, and I have to be honest
What
with
is
you.
proper jazz, Andrew?
Proper jazz is like, you know, the straight ahead, you know, bebop, you know, swing, you understand? That's the foundation. If you want to learn jazz properly, you have to go back into the influences of Bud Powell, Oscar Peterson, Errol Garner. You have to go back into Barry Harris, understand? Phineas Newborn. Those kind of, that is
Proper.
where you have to understand it. Yeah, that is the real thing. That's authentic. But then again, I don't have a problem with smooth jazz. I mean, music is music.
Yeah.
You know, and contemporary jazz, because you have some serious contemporary jazz music out there. And jazz fusion. I mean, I like various types, you know. So one of my influences, Chick Corea, because I've listened to Chick Corea a lot and Herbie Hancock. But I've listened to other piano players like Gonzalo Rubalcaba. You know, those are like top players. He's a top player from Cuba.
Yeah.
You know, so, but Chick Corea was one of the most, was one of those pianists that I've mostly listened to then.
Yeah. One of your main influences.
And when I used to play in Jamaica, I was playing stuff and people asked me at that time, remind me of Chick Corea when you play. At that time, I never used to listen to Chick Corea. I mean, but my friend of mine who was in the airplay band introduced me to Chick Corea music.
Yeah, that was
Jerome.
All right. So Andrew, you were talking about your experience having to go back to Jamaica and some of what you did there. Carry on.
Yeah, so after the jazz festival, I went to Immaculate Conception High School and gave a talk to the girls' orchestra. You know, and that was a great opportunity as well. I have done stuff with John Williams.
Yeah.
I'm Joy Brown.
In the 3 months you were in Jamaica.
In the 3 months, you understand, I started teaching music to other people as well. You know, but it happened that in Jamaica, I started to feel unwell. Started feeling well, and when I was going to the toilet, but I know that was the enemy, starting up something. And I remember people were saying to me, go to the doctors. But I said, no. The doctor said to me, don't go to the doctor. So I decided to go to a convention. That's where I got.
Oh, right.
So I got better,
Amen.
Yeah.
And then for me, people come to me and ask me for advice and encourage them. And musicians used to come and check me.
Yeah.
But God sent me back to Jamaica on a journey. Not just about the music, but it was more like cleansing,
Yeah.
and he was taking certain things out of me.
Yeah.
That was one of the main reasons.
Yeah.
But I had many assignments, separate apart from music, but the main purpose was music.
Yeah.
So God used me to talk to other
Yeah.
people, being a blessing, even to family, they
Yeah.
understand me. But being there are times when I'm just at the place alone with God. And there are times when I go on the road and there are assignments, just unusual assignments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But how I got my papers, I was reading a book about forgiveness. When I finished reading that book, got my work to come
Right.
back up.
Yeah.
And came back to the UK and started other opportunities with people like Kaya Brown,
Yeah.
and other people. And where the album section now is concerned, I remember time came in 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where the Lord says to me, you're going to release your album by this time. I said, how am I going to release an album? I don't see the money.
Yeah.
But those compositions that are on the album, those, even during the immigration, I had some of those compositions already.
Yeah.
Yeah, so God allowed me to come up with my own music during the immigration, work it out with the musicians. But when it came to the album now, I said, step out. I'm going to show you how to do it. And the Lord provided the money for me so that I didn't go to the studio. I went to a club called the Vortex
Yeah.
Club and did live recording myself.
Wow.
I got Tommy Riman, another drummer from Greece, Billy Pod. You understand? Yeah. We just recorded. Understand? What happened was, I said, all right, you're going to copyright it. And I just figure out how to copyright it, went on the internet, did it myself. And for me, I don't watch money because what is money? It's just a little piece of paper we allow to control us.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But God just take me along the way.
Yeah.
And I fasted and prayed and I said, God, you show me steps
Yeah.
that will be ordered by you
Yes.
for this album. And I remember eventually I got a photographer, and he took my pictures and, got another guy that did the graphic work.
Yeah.
To me, it was okay, but it can pass.
Yeah.
And then on November the 30th of 2023,
Yeah.
that was when the album was released.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And just to say, ladies and gentlemen, that the trailer, the music that we use for the trailer for Our Clogos
Yes, of course.
is actually one of the songs from one of the compositions from Andrew's album called Creator from Above. So that's one of the songs on Andrew's album. So
Yeah, man, it's a pleasure, to be honest with you. I guess those compositions, except for one, my friend Tommy Raman did called Jazz Head. But all of those compositions, God gave me revelation from heaven.
Wow.
So that was these stuff that I'm doing was heavenly.
Yeah.
Understand? And then eventually now I start playing my own music at CLF. I fasted and prayed.
Yeah.
But that the first show sold out.
Yeah.
It was full house.
Mm.
The second show I featured Anita
Yeah.
on it.
Who's
Yeah.
that? Sorry.
So
Do we know Anita?
I wonder.
Yeah, yeah. That's my wife, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
I remember the Lord said to me, feature her.
Yeah.
Got another full house show. People couldn't even come in.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
of people were outside waiting. But we were just blazing.
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
And eventually, no, there was a time I was going to Oliver's Club as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oliver's Club. There were times when I missed my train just because of jam sessions.
Yeah.
And I remember I had to wait a couple of years for like a night to play. And eventually I was at home and the Lord said to me, you're going to get a night at Oliver's.
Mm.
Go up there. Went up there. Oliver said to me, are you available for a night? I said yes. He booked me. And I remember I wanted to use the same musicians. Well, fortunately I used Tommy, but the other musician couldn't make it at that time.
Yeah.
So I used another musician, another drummer. He just got sick.
Oh,
It
dear.
was that. So this band that I put together, ACY, came on a lot of spiritual attacks.
Mm.
You understand? So when you have a vision and a purpose, you know, the enemy is going to want to try and bombard that vision.
Yeah.
And I didn't give up, you know, I didn't give up because God says, I'm going to play at Oliver's. And like I said, after he got sick, I said, God, who am I going to get as a drummer? I don't know who to get.
Yeah.
The Lord said, go back to Oliver's and I'll show you what is what. I sat at the table and two young guys come, they are musicians, and one of them says to me, he plays guitars. I said, okay. And the other guy said he plays drums.
Wow.
So I said to him, would he be available to do a show with me the next week? He said yes.
Wow.
Took it like
Just
that.
like that.
And for me, you know, I like rehearsals.
Yeah.
Structured out, I need to rehearse like months after. But I had to learn from God, no, not everything will work my way all the time. Mm-mm. Because we might said, okay, we need all of these rehearsals when God says, no, you need probably only one or two.
Yeah.
And the next week, it was full house. Just like that again.
Yeah.
That's the kind of God I serve.
Yeah.
Because
amazing.
of that kind of spirit that God has given me, the spirit of excellence, the spirit of being a warrior.
Yeah.
You know, God has shown me that He trained me as a sniper man, the spirits.
Yeah.
So I can just shoot down stuff instantly.
Yeah. So now that you have an album out, if anyone was or wanted to, you know, where would one get your album from?
The music is on Spotify and other platforms.
Oh, lovely.
You
Yeah.
can check out.
Yeah.
Understand? So that's where you can purchase, you know, and if you want to listen to it, actually, you can go on YouTube.
As well. Okay. Because people must be wondering, where do I get to hear you? Where do I, you know, because it's obvious you're such a talented musician in that even with jazz, I was just saying in the break that you may have to come up with your own genre because if you're even jazzing up the jazz.
I like that one. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So people might maybe, you know, wondering where do I get to listen, you know, get to hear him from or see him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, you know, I guess the most important thing for me is to proclaim Jesus Christ with the music that I play.
Yes.
Because when you see the titles,
Yeah.
I'm very skeptic about titles.
Of course.
Because a lot of musicians, the titles of their songs can be demonic. and it can bring a certain darkness.
Yes.
And some of them are positive. I'm very, after I got saved, I was very keen on what I listened to. You know, because you can listen to some jazz music and, you know, it's just the titles I'm very mindful of, you know, which I rather not touch, you know, because one of the things is that I'm in tune with the Holy Spirit. I might not know scriptures like everybody, like Psalm 21, so on, so on. No, maybe some of them, but what I know is that I know where the source come from, which is God.
Yes.
So I understand that, okay, if the Spirit says to me, don't do such and such a thing,
Yeah.
then I can find it in the scriptures. I can find it even on a pastor talking to me on YouTube, giving a word like that. You know what I'm saying? To say, be careful what you feed the Spirit with.
Yeah.
So that is how I'm in line with the Holy Spirit. You know, it's not, it's for me, all right, my musical walk and my walk. Yes, I've been around many ministers, but there comes a time you have to know God for yourself.
Oh, definitely.
Have to know God for yourself, because I reached a point in life where I don't have to be drinking milk anymore. I can eat hard food. And the thing is, the walk of God, it can't be too delicate with. In the walk of God, you have to be militant and have endurance. So even with music, you know, you have to be militant with what you're doing, because when I'm going out there, the forces of darkness will come at me if you don't know what you're doing. And I remember when I go to a club, I'm not going to call any names on the air, that wouldn't be right. No. For me, there was a musician that I saw, and there was a demon that rose up in him and says, I know who you are and I know your voice. Yeah. And yeah. So it's like they knew who I was. And at that time, I never understood certain things. But each time when I go to the club, I pray. I seek God. Sometimes when I'm in the club, I read the scriptures.
Yeah.
I read like Psalm 35 or Psalm 68. Verse 1, let God arise the enemy, scatter them. So when I play, man, it's like I'm shooting down, man.
Yeah.
I remember a friend of mine, when he heard the album, he said, boy, Andrew, it's like bullets firing when I hear this music. I have to be ducking like M16, guns are fired. But wherever I go, you know, it's electrifying, because last year, I think it was November, I did the jazz festival, London Jazz Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was full house.
Yeah.
Definitely
Wow.
full, man. And let me tell you, man, people were just enjoying it.
Yeah.
You understand? And also, the musicians who come in my band are musicians from the Royal Academy, Trinity Music College. I find myself, I train them how to
Yeah.
play.
Yes.
I teach them that, look, you have to be militant, because there's a certain way in the schools they might teach the music, but there's a certain way that God will allow me to teach them.
Yeah.
That's why people ask me if I've ever been to a music university. When I go to clubs, a guy asks me, I want to know which music university you go to. Because people were saying to me, you could go to Juilliard's or Berkeley College and do workshops or worldwide, which is one of my visions, where
Yeah.
I know soon and very soon I'm going to travel the world
Yeah.
and do major workshops. One of my goals this season, which I know I'm going to share now, is I'm going to do a masterclass.
Yeah.
This is my second masterclass I'm going to do. I've done masterclass for a guy called Chris Bailey on Music Hack program, where I was talking about how to play the blues in 7. So I explain it in a way that playing the blues in 7, you play it in a 7/8 time signature, more than a 4/4 time signature.
What's an example of that? Just so, because
So-
I'm trying to get my head around the
So it's
times
1,
here.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 1 now. You say 1, 2, 3. 2, 3,
Wow,
4.
Cheryl just got a mini music lesson.
to see that.
So-
I know.
So
Yeah.
at first, I wasn't so good at those time signatures, but a friend of mine introduced me to it in jazz fusion. Stanley Hayes, excellent drummer. And I said to him, man, how can I go about learning these kind of signatures? He said to me, he listened to Dave Weckl. But those guys, they can play all of that kind of stuff. But most of the time signatures Dave Weckl played in back then, he plays in a lot of fours, but he can play in more various time signatures. So he usually worked with the Chicoria Electric Band when Chicoria was alive.
Yeah.
So I listened to a lot of jazz fusion and other musicians, even from Russia, musicians from different parts of the world. Who, even some of them I don't really understand so well, but I still get a feel. So I can play the 7/8 groove, 9/8 groove, sometimes in level.
Wow.
If you're going to play like rock fusion, you know, you're talking about Jordan Rudess, that's Dream Theater stuff. 25 over 11, 11 over 25. So that's another level of fusion. So his writing is a combination of rock, classical, you know, there's jazz in it, but, you know, with Chicoria, he's done jazz, mixture at
Are you
R&B.
taking notes, Cheryl?
I'm still on the back burner of the notes. The topic.
Yeah. So the jazz and the R&B and you know, there's popping into what they're doing as well. So it's experimental. Then that's what jazz fusion is about.
Right.
So the electric band gravitated toward. I gravitated towards the electric band and other jazz fusion. And then now for organ playing, I remember when I came here, coming here, I thought I would just be pianist or keyboard player, like I said earlier. But I start going back into the organ that I was sort of despising it. I said probably I wouldn't play organ anymore after I left St. Richard's Church. But I remember one day God said to me, don't despise what I've given you. Don't ever despise that. You're going to do the album with that and you're going to go back to organ playing.
Wow.
I thought the purpose was to play pipe organ.
Yeah.
But God put me on Hammond organ, which is more the economical organ to the pipe.
Yeah. So to explain,
Okay.
so back then in the Catholic Church, you played the pipe organ, which is that massive organ.
Yeah.
Big.
That you hear. It's
That one.
Yeah.
I kind of don't like the sound. I'm not gonna say I hate it.
Yeah.
And you'd be playing like mostly classical sounds, but now you're playing the beachy organ, and I think what's interesting is how you've translated from playing classical music in the church to now playing jazz music on the beachy organ, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, I used to play jazz on the pipe organ.
Back then,
As well.
Yeah.
jazzing up the
definitely.
masses, isn't it?
Yeah. The thing about it had a black box. The good thing about it, you could MIDI it. And the sounds, the black box had tones. It's called the module. So that's where I got the inspiration to play orchestra music. So guitar music, guitar stuff, you know, EP stuff, electric piano. So I took it to another level.
And you've played in mini orchestras as well.
Yes, I've worked with a guy in Jamaica called Yekengele. You know, so I got my fair share of exposure there. You know, but I just want to stick to even the UK now in terms of where I'm at now. Where God just said to me, go back to organ play. That is where I'm going to establish you as an organ player. He says to me, you're not going to stop playing the other instruments like the piano or the keyboard, but there's a call for you playing that instrument. And I remember after I came to Jamaica, a friend of mine wanted me to come to Alaska. Thank God, fortunately it didn't work out. I mean, thank God it didn't work out because I believe God had another plan.
Another plan.
But out of that plan, I started posting YouTube videos
Yeah.
of my playing,
Yeah.
you know, until I start putting more and more, until I have loads of videos on YouTube,
Yeah.
which I reinterpret like some of the jazz pieces. I'm playing to different time signatures
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
Wow.
so it's like a friend of mine, Andre Campbell, said to me, man, I don't know how you do that. Do stuff with your left hand because in keyboard playing, I learn a lot about coordination. So one hand playing something different, another hand playing something
Wow.
different.
Yeah.
So when you hear me play, I'll play the comping, which is like the body, and then eventually play the melodies, and then eventually a solo. Meanwhile, I'm walking bass and all those kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Amazing.
But the thing with organ,
Mm-hmm.
organ, you can use foot pedals, but I don't have the foot pedals yet.
Yeah. So Andrew, we're in our last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to find out the name of the album. I think you already mentioned where people can find it. And last question is just how did you get inspiration for the songs?
My inspiration come from the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ultimate teacher. He's the ultimate professor of my life, man.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'll just be at home and one day it just comes up.
Yeah.
And I just work it out. I probably might get the manuscript and write out the chords or score it out and use my phone and record. But that is how I've been inspired by God.
Yeah.
But it was a minister, Jamaica, Bishop Adegold, which is no longer with us anymore. He said to me, Andrew, your inspiration comes from God, you know? And that is how God inspired me to release this album. And when I released that album, I went through a lot of attacks, man. So many attacks. There was a time when my organ was going on the attack. The devil came at my instrument. So, yeah. And I said, I wonder if something wrong with them. And the Holy Spirit said, nothing is not wrong with them. But you see, if anybody wants to do an album, it's not something to rush. You know, just take your time. You have a vision, it's like Noah. God told Noah to build an ark. And when God said to him, build an ark, a lot of people were laughing, not knowing that there was a preparation for the flood to come.
Yeah.
Sometimes when God tells you to do something, don't stop listening to people. For me, I don't listen to people. I listen to God more than people.
Yeah.
If God sends some people with the right advice, which I'll know in my heart that
It's
the,
from God.
the right
Yeah.
people.
But if not,
You don't just get up and listen to people. I've been discouraged when it comes to my music. People said, oh, you're doing too much of this, and I just keep doing it because who are you to tell me what I can't do? And even in the jazz world, I mean, I've put out other recent videos. A lot of musicians from Africa have given advice to musicians from Africa worldwide. God has said to me, call that person. I call him and we talk about the music. And that's my ministry because for me, I don't see myself in the four walls just playing music. That's why Jesus says, go out and reach to all nations. It's not necessarily...
and by four walls, you mean church?
Yeah, outside of the church. Yeah. So he said, go out and preach to all nations and, baptize them in the name of the Father, Son, and I will be with you always, even until the end of the world. Well, I baptize them with the music I play. So that is the baptism.
Yes.
Yeah, I like
The
that.
baptism
I had a
of-
final question.
Oh my gosh, we have. Okay.
I know we're running out of time, but I've been dying to ask this question, and I really want to ask it. I'm going to ask it.
You have 1 minute.
So basically, you see, we've seen a significant impact of AI, and I just wanted to kind of get your sense of what's your are you looking to utilize AI, or are you staying away
Artificial
from it,
intelligence.
which is artificial intelligence? Just wanted to get your views on that.
I don't need those kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because all right, you see, the music business is getting too much technology. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And everything is computerized. And if you're not careful, it will drown out the authenticity
Oh, yeah.
What you're doing.
of what I'm doing.
Yes.
And this is the last days where the devil is bringing different gadgets to weigh down the things that God has put in people to actually do in your authentic way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in our last 30 seconds, we'd like to thank you, Andrew Christopher
Absolutely.
Young.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The name of the album is Jazz in the Spirit. And like Andrew said, it can be found on all major platforms. We will put the link in the description box to Andrew's website and also a link to his YouTube page and some of his other handles. So thanks, everyone. And as usual, we say, please like, share, comment, subscribe, send a hello to Shirelle.
By me. Say hello to all of us.
And Rose and myself and Andrew.
Absolutely.
And continue to support us at Arc Logos. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.